For most of us, pets are an extension of our family. Just like us, individual pets react differently to the stresses of everyday life. Increasingly, pet professionals and pet owners are turning to natural remedies to help. Pet Remedy was developed in the UK as a result of a cat called Tigger with behavioural issues. Developed with help from a team of vets, veterinary nurses, psychiatrists, and drawing from our own knowledge and experience of aromatherapy and essential oils. It proved so effective with Tigger that a further 3 years of development and trials at 2 RSPCA rescue centres and several veterinary practices led to a product launch in 2010. Patents were granted in 2016 for the formula and method of delivery. Phytotherapy is the generic term used for treatments derived from plants and includes aromatherapy, which uses plant materials and aromatic plant oils, including absolute and essential oils, for improving psychological or physical well-being. Essential oils help with the well-being of plants and protect them from predators, attract pollinators, and prevent infection from fungi and bacteria. When applied to humans and their pets, certain essential oils and absolutes can increase a sense of well-being and calm by interaction with the limbic system of the brain, or by causing an increase in the production of anxiolytic neurotransmitters. The small aroma molecules found in absolutes and essential oils elicit an immediate response because the sense of smell is wired to the limbic system or the emotional brain. When a smell is perceived, this triggers an emotional response. Certain essential oils have calming properties, and their aroma molecules appear to reduce agitation and anxiety when inhaled. In addition to the aromatherapy effects, the aroma molecules may also be absorbed into the bloodstream and have a calming effect on the brain. Aroma molecules in the Pet Remedy formula are important and potent organic plant chemicals. How we use aromatherapy in the Pet Remedy formula. Pet Remedy Natural De-Stress and Calming uses a unique and clinically proven formula of low-concentration valerian absolute oil with inclusion of vetiver, basil, and clary sage essential oils. Valerian absolute oil is obtained by cold extraction from the roots and rhizomes of the plant Valeriana officinalis, and has been used for centuries as an effective and safe calming agent. Known compounds detected in valerian that may contribute to its method of action are sesquiterpenes, contained in the volatile oil, isovaleric acid, valerianic acid, valerinyl, and valerinol. We source our absolute oil from Europe, where our valerian plants are grown organically using only manure as fertilizer. Our valerian story. Valerian is a perennial herb with short rhizomes, aromatic feathery leaves, and clusters of small pink or white flowers. There are over 260 different species of valerian worldwide, but only a few have calming properties, and we obtain optimum results for Pet Remedy from Valeriana officinalis. This species is native to Europe, North America, and the northern part of Asia. Sarah the dog welcomes us at the farm where the plants are grown. We arrive in October to see the crop prior to harvesting. Valerian, Valeriana officinalis, is grown for us over 90 acres high up in the mountains of Eastern Europe. This means the plants grow slowly and the roots in this way develop maximum potency. They are grown organically using only manure as fertilizer. Before harvesting, root and rhizome samples are sent for analysis to check the potency and chemical values in the root. If the potency does not meet the required standard, the harvest will be delayed until they gain greater potency. Good valerian root and rhizomes yield about 1% of volatile oil. To ensure maximum pharmacological properties in the roots and rhizomes of the plant, The young plants are planted 750 millimetres apart with up to 32,000 plants grown per acre. A rhizome is a stem of the valerian plant growing below ground, which produces roots and stem shoots along its length from nodes. From these roots and rhizomes, each acre of valerian cultivation will yield around 12 kilograms of absolute. When the plants are harvested, they are washed and then air-dried. The roots and rhizomes are then taken to be processed to extract the absolute oil by cold extraction process. Unlike steam distillation, whereby heat and steam destroy many of the finer aromatic compounds, cold extraction ensures all aromatic and volatile oils are retained. This is why cold extraction is always used for expensive and delicate flowers, such as rose, mimosa, jasmine, and narcissus. The first cold extraction process uses hexane, which is a food-grade hydrocarbon solvent, which is also used for vegetable oils and is free of toluene, benzene, and other unwanted chemicals. The hexane is then separated from the valerian oil to produce what is called a concrete. At this stage, the concrete is a highly coloured and viscous substance which retains many wax and fat solids, as well as chlorophyll and other plant tissues. The second process uses ethanol to refine and purify the concrete to produce absolute oil. The ethanol extracts the aroma molecules out of the concrete, but does not dissolve the fatty and wax solids. The ethanol aroma mix is then filtered to separate the fatty and wax solids. A further process of evaporation leaves a pure and highly concentrated aromatic oil, which is the valerian absolute. This is what we use in the Pet Remedy formula. Batch samples of the valerian absolute are tested in the laboratory by GCMS, gas chromatography, and mass spectrometry to ensure quality and purity is as expected. If the batch samples meet inspection criteria, the valerian root absolute is transferred to aluminium canisters to protect from air and light and shipped to our factory in Devon. The valerian root absolute oil is then blended with a small inclusion of vetiver, basil, and clary sage essential oils. This unique and patented blend of oils is then used for production of the oil-based diffuser liquid, as well as the water-based calming sprays and calming wipes. Here's Jamie supervising bottling of the diffuser oil liquid into 40ml bottles before they are packed into Pet Remedy cartons, and from there into outer boxes to protect them in transit and storage. Pet Remedy products are then transported by road to our wholesalers and to the docks for shipment to our overseas distributors. Vetiver is a tough aromatic grass which belongs to the same botanical family as lemongrass, citronella, and palmarosa. The essential oil is extracted by steam distillation from the roots. Vetiver has been appreciated for its calming properties since records began. We source our vetiver from Haiti and Java. Sweet basil is an aromatic herb with lush green leaves. The essential oil is extracted by steam distillation from the leaves and the flowering tops. Sweet basil essential oil is commonly used in aromatherapy for its calming effect. We source our sweet basil from Europe and Egypt. Clary sage is a biennial herb native to the Mediterranean region. The essential oil is extracted by steam distillation of the buds and leaves. Clary sage has been praised throughout history as a medicinal plant, particularly for its calming properties. We source our clary sage essential oil from France. The calming properties in this formulation are fast-acting, which means it's ideal for helping a pet, including dog, cat, rabbit, horse, and other mammals and birds in stressful situations such as travel, fireworks, change of routine, bonding, grooming, training, and settling into a new home. Biochemicals found in the pet remedy formula include alkaloids, flavonones, GABA, iridoids, isovaleramide, isovaleric acid, sesquiterpenes. Interestingly, the body reacts to these constituents in several ways. It appears that stressed pets have a positive emotional response to the smell of pet remedy, which increases its rapid calming effect. There's also the physiological reaction, whereby the chemical calming properties of the pet remedy blend work with the pet's own natural calming mechanisms. Based on available scientific literature, we postulate the aroma molecules in the pet remedy blend may work on the brain's natural calming message system, GABA. Gamma-aminobutyric acid, GABA, is an amino acid which acts as a neurotransmitter in the central nervous system. It inhibits nerve transmission in the brain, calming nervous activity. The nervous system is made up of individual nerve cells called neurons. Neurons act as the body's wiring. Nerve signals are transmitted through the length of a neuron as an electrical impulse. When a nerve impulse reaches the end of the neuron, it can jump over the next cell using chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. In the central nervous system, which consists of the brain and the spinal cord, neurotransmitters pass from neuron to neuron. Glutamate and GABA are the most abundant neurotransmitters in the central nervous system, and especially in the cerebral cortex, which is where thinking occurs and sensations are interpreted. Glutamate acts as an excitatory neurotransmitter and when bound to adjacent cells, encourages them to fire and send a nerve impulse. GABA does the opposite and tells the adjoining cells not to fire, not to send an impulse. It's an inhibitory neurotransmitter, meaning it blocks nerve impulses. Without GABA, nerve cells would fire too often and too easily. GABA hinders the transmission of nerve impulses from one neuron to another and therefore has a calming influence. A human being's perception of the world is primarily by sight, but dogs and many other animals see the world through smell. A dog will in the first instance see something, but then identify the sight by smell. Dogs have up to 300 million olfactory receptors in their noses. There are up to 200 million olfactory receptors in cats and up to 100 million in rabbits, compared to about 6 million in humans. And the part of a dog's brain that is devoted to analysing smells is, proportionally speaking, 40 times greater than ours. Dogs and other mammals, with only a few exceptions such as humans, have an extra organ to help capture smell and deliver information to the brain, called the Jacobson's organ, also known as the vomeronasal organ. So to come back to aromatherapy, we've already explained how aromas elicit an immediate response in the brain. An aroma is captured by the olfactory receptors, which then convert the aroma into electrical impulses, which are sent directly to the brain, and in particular the limbic part of the brain, which is responsible for behaviour, emotions and memory. So you can imagine that animals with their significantly expanded olfactory senses will respond even more strongly to aromatherapy than humans. While we don't yet know which molecules in Pet Remedy's formula are the most effective, the numerous trials of Pet Remedy have shown that Pet Remedy does work to help calm anxious animals. Pet Remedy has been the subject of a number of independent clinical studies. 4 of these studies are now complete, and the results are consistent with Pet Remedy being an effective natural aid to help calm stressed pets. A further 5 studies are currently underway to test Pet Remedy efficacy in a number of different species. In 2016, an observational study was completed. This involved 70 groomers working with 242 dogs with behavioural issues. The outcome was positive, with over 96% of participant groomers reporting calmer dogs. There are many common and everyday triggers for stress, and individual pets react to these in different ways. Common triggers include fireworks, a new pet in the home, moving to a new home, changes in the home, loud noises, travel or a visit to the vets, loss of a companion, a change in routine, being left alone at home, and separation. Common signs of stress include behavioural change, spraying or soiling, over-grooming, a lack of interaction, pacing, loss of appetite, chewing, aggression and scratching.
Hi, I'm Tom Hill. I'm a vet working in a primarily small animal practice down in Devon called Powder and Vet Group. We use Pet Remedy for all of our species. We use it in the cats and dogs that we see routinely every day. We also see exotics like rabbits and guinea pigs as well as birds, and we find it useful in all those species. We do also use it out in the field for our small animal visits, as well as using it for the horses that we still treat, and in the past we have used it on the farm animals out in the field too. In the practice, our common use is using the wipes. We find these are very useful in handling the animals in the first instance. I'll open up a wipe and I'll wipe my hands to get the smell onto my hands, so when I touch the patient they're immediately in contact with the smell. And I can then also use the wipe, if need be, to wipe the muzzle of the patient to help calm them. We find these are particularly useful and a good step on from the spray. However, we still do use the spray in our species. We particularly use it for spraying onto towels, for handling fractious animals, for blood sampling, particularly cats. As we all know, at times these can be particularly fractious to handle, and we do find as a spray it works really well. It's also handy, as I've said, in the exotic species such as birds that we'll often handle in a towel for calming them for nail clipping or beak clipping. We also use the plugins in the rooms as well as in the corridor and waiting areas for the clients. We also use the atomizer at times to give that intermittent release into the environment in the consult room. As a product, it's good all purpose, it's safe, it's natural, and it has a quick effect on the patients without having to wait for it to take effect. So really, generally as a product for us, for handling all our patients, it's the best product out there.
There are 4 primary methods of application, and each offer their own benefits, both in practice and for client use. The plug-in diffuser. This provides an ambient and constant slow release of Pet Remedy into the environment and is suitable for use in any room up to 60 square metres. It's easy to use, starts to help within minutes, and lasts up to 60 days. In your practice, the diffuser can be used in the waiting room, examination room, or kennels and cattery. For clients, it can be used in any room that the animal spends most of its time. It's also cheap to run at only 5 watts, and refill bottles are available. The calming spray. The Pet Remedy Calming Spray provides instant action with no loading time, as it's water-based and contains no alcohol. In your practice, the spray can be used on towels that can be placed on pet carriers and baskets. It can be sprayed on your tunic front and cuffs before handling anxious patients. You can spray a little on your fingers and gently rub around the muzzle, under the chin, or onto the chest of an animal. It can be sprayed directly onto an examination table, and its effects can last up to 2 to 6 hours, depending on the individual pet. For clients, the spray can be used to help with bonding, and also helps their pets to become more attentive and receptive. It can be used for home, travel, and training. It can also be sprayed onto bedding, a bandana, or directly onto hands for direct contact. It can be used along with other products in the range, such as the plug-in diffuser and atomizer. It's water-based with a pH-neutral formula, meaning it is safe on skin and a pet's coat. It's recommended by the Rabbit Welfare Association as an effective means of bonding, and can be used by applying a small amount to your fingers and rubbing gently onto the muzzle or under the chin. This helps with scent swapping as well as calming, and this dual action accelerates this bonding process. This same procedure can be used for bonding other pets, such as dogs, cats, rodents, horses, and even cross-species. There is also a 15ml mini spray available that can be refilled. The calming wipes. The calming wipe allows for quick access and easy application of the formula. In your practice, they can be used for wiping on hands before handling an animal, as well as for applying pet remedy directly to the patient. They can also be used for wiping down surfaces and can be gifted to clients to use before a follow-up appointment. For clients, the wipes are perfect for when out and about. They can also be used on bedding, in the car, and in pet enclosures. They're useful for noise-sensitive animals who dislike the spray and can be individually wrapped around a harness or tucked into collars. They're also biodegradable and 100% compostable. The battery atomizer. The battery atomizer can be used to deliver a controlled dose of the formula into the environment. It runs off 3 AA batteries and delivers a metered dose of 0.11 ml every 30, 60 or 120 minutes. It can last up to 60 days if set at the standard 30-minute setting. It's suitable for small rooms or enclosures up to 20 square metres and must be located at least 4 feet from the ground to ensure the water-based mist disperses into the room. There are also 250 ml refills available. Pet Remedy is an award-winning brand. A major pet industry award has been won every year since Pet Remedy first came to market. These are some of the most frequently asked questions from our customers. Does Pet Remedy have a smell? Yes, and we can expand on this by explaining that the smell comes from the acids in the Valerian absolute oil, which is where the calming properties originate. That said, we have recently learned to extract our oil from fresh roots and rhizomes instead of dried roots, and this results in a lighter smell and colour. Is it possible to overdose my pet? The simple answer is no, if used as directed. Pet Remedy has a low concentration of absolute and essential oils and is therefore very gentle in its effect. Is there a loading time for the calming spray? No, because the Pet Remedy calming spray is water-based, the pet can be introduced straight away, and as the formula is pH neutral, it's perfectly safe on the skin or coat. Are there any contraindications or side effects associated with Pet Remedy? We can say that in the 10 years since developing Pet Remedy, we've not received any reports of adverse reactions to Pet Remedy when used as directed. Can Pet Remedy be used during pregnancy? Because of the very low concentration of absolute and essential oils and indirect application, there should be no reason to avoid Pet Remedy if used as directed. Of course, any individual with specific concerns should always seek advice from a qualified professional. Will Pet Remedy have an effect on me? Whilst the Pet Remedy formula is specifically designed for use with your pets and other animals, there are recent studies to show that valerian can have a beneficial anxiolytic effect on humans. Can I use Pet Remedy in the same room as an aquarium? The plug diffuser can be used in the same room, but avoid using sprays or atomizers in the vicinity of a fish tank. I've used Pet Remedy and my pet is behaving as before. To this we can say, you'll often see a change in demeanour of an anxious pet within a few minutes as the de-stress and calming properties of Pet Remedy take effect. However, the pet will often still react or behave in the same way to environmental triggers even when the nerve cells are calmed because of learned behaviour. For instance, if the doorbell rings, a dog may still react by barking or jumping up at the visitor out of habit. Remember, pet remedy is only a support mechanism that helps to calm excited nerves because of learned and reflexive behaviour. An advantage with trainable animals, such as dogs and horses, is that their behaviour can be modified. Stress inhibits learning, and by calming the pet with pet remedy, they become more focused on you and more receptive to training. They also become less reactive to the environment and more aware of their surroundings, enabling them to process learning and remember. The de-stressing effects of pet remedy give you the opportunity to work with a calmer animal, greatly increasing the likelihood of success. Thank you for your time, and we hope you enjoyed learning about pet remedy and how it can help you and your clients. To find out more, visit petremedy.co.uk.